Joe Biden, of course, has been getting a ton of pressure in regard to what Americans are feeling and experiencing at the gas pump. Gas prices are high, and people want Biden to do something about it, even though his ability to do something about it is pretty limited. So Biden is now asking the head of the Federal Trade Commission to do an investigation on whether oil companies are illegally increasing the prices of gas, right, at the pump. And so that's an interesting tactic, right? An investigation into oil companies. I mean, I'm always down for an investigation into oil companies. However, it misses the main point, which is there is throttled oil production right now, specifically to spike prices at the pump. That's what oil producing countries are doing on purpose. So let's just be honest about that. I don't know why he's not speaking out about it, but that's what's actually happening. Now, he says this, he wrote a letter to Lina Khan. She is the chairwoman of the FTC. Prices at the pump have continued to rise, even as refined fuel costs go down and industry profits go up. In the last month, the price of unfinished gasoline is down more than 5%, while gas prices at the pump are up 3% in that same period. This unexplained large gap between the price of unfinished gasoline and the average price at the pump is well above the pre-pandemic average. And he also notes that two of the largest oil and gas companies in the United States are on track to nearly double their net income from 2019. So they're doing pretty well. But part of the reason why they're doing so well is they can limit the production of what we need, right? Of petroleum. Limit it, and if you limit it and you have higher supply, well, then you'll get an increase in prices. Essentially, they're manipulating the market. Now, let's talk about OPEC. I've talked about OPEC with you guys before, but here's what's happening. And I commend The Hill for including this context because many media outlets have just completely ignored this. Here's what's really going on. Many of the factors impacting gasoline prices, such as global oil production, are out of the president's control. Currently, a group of oil producing countries and their allies known as OPEC Plus are steadily increasing their oil production, though the United States has urged them to do so more rapidly. Now, Saudi Arabia is being particularly difficult in responding to Biden's request to produce more oil. I would venture to say, this is just speculation, that Mohammed bin Salman probably is not too friendly toward Biden these days. Biden did conduct an investigation into the slaughter of Jamal Khashoggi, who was, of course, murdered because Mohammed bin Salman ordered it. Now, Biden didn't do anything after he conducted that investigation and had the findings. He just decided to let it go. But I'm guessing the investigation itself and the findings of that investigation didn't make Mohammed bin Salman so happy. But look, putting that aside, even if it's not a retaliatory thing being conducted by Saudi Arabia, oil producing countries want to make money. They want to make money that they missed out on in the beginning of the pandemic. So of course they're gonna manipulate the market by holding back production. But this wouldn't even be an issue if we weren't dependent on fossil fuels, right? If Democrats like Joe Biden, for instance, focused on pivoting toward renewable energy decades ago, instead of sucking up to corporate interests, instead of providing oil companies more government subsidies, maybe they should have focused on developing renewable energy in this country and getting us off of oil dependence. That would have been pretty nice. Then we wouldn't be struggling with persuading other oil producing countries to help us out. Also, maybe some of the oil that we produce in this country shouldn't be exported to other countries if we want to lower, gas prices in our borders. I don't know, just a thought. We also have oil reserves that we could tap into. But again, these are short-term solutions. The long-term solution should be renewable energy, moving toward electric vehicles. Now, there's been some movement on that by the Democratic Party, but obviously they didn't move quickly enough All of that stuff should have been fought for aggressively, and it should have been accomplished so we wouldn't find ourselves in the situation we're in today. But it is also important to know how this system works and why we're seeing higher gas prices at the pump. It's not because we have more social spending in the country. It's not because there's increased demand, but production has been the same. No, there might be a little more increased demand. People are traveling more, certainly. But there's manipulation also happening because of the OPEC plus cartel holding back production.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.